Hello there, everybody. How you doing? Thank you for joining tonight. Looking forward to talking with everybody and seeing how everybody's feeling. And look at all the wonderful friends from all over. Good to see everybody out here. This is like we should do this on a regular kind of thing, don't you think? Yeah. So we got a lot of fun things to talk about, mainly just music and in the direction of everybody's artistic life and some updates on the things that I've been doing, and we can work that for a little bit. Um, San Antonio, Texas. How you doing, John? Yes, indeed. So feel free to put anything in there in the chat if you want me to address it and what you would like me to kind of say. I can send hand signals because I can't really read. Make this a regular, you're saying, huh? I can do that. We can do that. We just flip a switch and it's done. We can do that. I'm telling you. We can do all of this. Love you guys. I just want to know that you guys are feeling good in these tough times. You guys feeling good in these tough times? Aren't groceries cheap enough these days? Don't worry, we're not going to turn this political. Yes, hi from me. Brian, how you doing in Denmark? I had a great time over there. Played in Denmark with Steve I remember that. That was just a brilliant time. You doing well? Yes, indeed. Good to see you. Look at all my friends behind me. I brought some of them. These guitars. I can't afford any cases, so I got to put them in that rack there. And that's how that works. I got an acoustic back there, too. That's pretty cool. And what do you think about my violin? See my violin? That was actually my first instrument. People think it's the piano. It's not. It was actually the violin. I started with that, and I realized my hands were too big, so I needed a guitar. I realized that early on. I was about 7 or 8 years old when I realized I needed a 7-string. Do you believe that? I don't. So we're at the Q&A, are we? So let's get that rolling. Yeah. Let's ask and receive. Let's see. Are they going to ask me some questions? New York City is very close to where I'm from in Massachusetts. and my lovely sister Polly is there in that town. And it's probably going to be when we got a gig over there. We're got some really cool things going on with the new Cab record with Bunny Burnell and myself, and some surprised artists we'll tell you about. And playing in that area and in the West Coast, and I mean, sorry, in New York and the East Coast is just like something that I've always loved. The energy in New York is truly amazing. You'll see it. You'll read about it. I'll let you know, and you can see it on the website, of course, on my official website. Looking forward to getting back there. But I think I got to let winter get done first. You guys are for real with that cold weather. Here, every day was like 115, 120 for a long time, and it's still pretty warm today. But oh, you got to be for real with that cold weather. Another question there. Do I feel that today's music lacks passion? It depends on what you're passionate about and what you expect. I mean, if I wanted something that was very aggressive for me, I shouldn't. I don't think I would be listening to things that would be lacking that. And I think it's all about what you achieve. And the beautiful thing about today and the internet is that you can find things really quickly. But it's a different time than it was, 5 years ago, 5 minutes ago. Everything is always moving forward. So I think the beautiful thing about it is music is really at our fingertips. We have the ability to find these things like rather quickly. So I don't really think that music is lacking passion. It just depends on what you're expecting, what your outlook is all about. That's what I think. I'm feeling good. I am feeling good. I'm feeling healthy, and I'm eating right. Although I won't tell you what I had for dinner tonight, but I'm eating right. I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm feeling a lot better than I did some years back. Thank you very much for that. Well, I can't play that violin, but all right, I'll be honest. I don't think I can really play any violins. No, I kind of gravitated to the guitar in terms of the instruments with the necks. Yeah. Mike, good to see you and good to wear this shirt. I love this shirt. We gotta get one with a more current year though, don't we? It looks like I gotta get over there. We'll work this out. The Corfu Rock School is just this beautiful school by Mike Fiesca in Corfu, Greece, and you go there for a lovely extended amount of time, and you study with these artists that come over, and you jam with them, and we give like private recitals, and we watch them jam, and it's really just an amazing location. It's an amazing school, and it's a beautiful thing to be involved with. I had a great time going there. I went some time ago, and I'm ready to go back. It's about time. It's about time for me. So Lee, let's see what made in Japan. Yes, let's see. I think I've mentioned they're telling me these wonderful things. I just had this instrumental record come out not too long ago, Equilibrium, and I'm working on a new one now. But I'm also working on the new Cab record with the great bass player Bunny Burnell. This is a lot of fun. This is a cool record. This guy is just like one of the most unique bass players on the planet, and he's just an immense talent. He's played with Chick Corea and so many wonderful players, and composers. So we're about ready to get that record out there. Pretty much all the parts have been played except a few, and that's how we're looking at that. I hope you enjoyed. I think you will. The last record, the last few records we put out, we were able to tour under those records. It was a lot easier to tour under those records. These times have been pretty tough as far as budgets go, and different things like that. With COVID, of course. Aren't you guys tired of COVID? Let's just hope that's pretty much through. But that's what I've been up to, and working with these wonderful other players, these newer players, new students. I've always loved teaching since the early days of the '80s, and probably a little before that. And I'm working with so many of these players that maybe, hopefully, you guys can see a few tonight, and we can all talk a little bit about that. And that's kind of what I've been up to: music and everything associated with it. Any future, what is SOA? Sons of, what's that? Sons of Apollo? I mean, I'm not in Sons of Apollo, so I don't know if they're going to be doing any more records. I don't know. I'm not the guitar player in that band. But, who knows? But speaking of guys that I've worked with, okay? Speaking of guys that I've worked with, like for all these years, and he's toured with me, and we've done some studying together. He's a terrific player, Bill Linero, and I'm working with him on his new record. We're pretty much well into the completions of that, and look at this. I think we both have same size guitars.
Same size, but mine's bigger.
Everybody, that's the man.
Glad to be with you, Tony.
Bill Linero. How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing good, and I'm glad you're keeping my guitar safe back there.
This isn't your guitar.
No, not that one. The one's behind you.
I don't have any guitars behind me. What are you talking about?
No, you're right. They're all my guitars.
Yeah, what's up, Bill? How you doing?
I'm doing good here at the studio. Good to see you.
What are you doing there?
I'm rehearsing. Well, I will be rehearsing.
You get some shows coming up?
We do. We have a show on Sunday.
Tell us, where?
The Row Rebels, downtown San Jose at Sofa Street Fair. We'll be headlining it. So if you're in San Jose area, San Francisco Bay Area, come on out to the Sofa Street Fair.
If you send me a car, I can get out there in my friend's car.
Do you want a 12? You want me to send you what I sent Vinnie Moore, a 12-passenger stretch limo? Would that be good?
I heard that story. Tell that story. Tell that story. That's too funny.
So at the time, I used to work at Guitar Showcase in San Jose, and I used to handle all the clinics and everything. And so we got Vinny in there, and I was talking to him on the phone, and he said, "Well, I've got some requirements." And I said, "Well, what is that?" And he goes, "I need a 12-passenger stretch limo." And he was kidding, and I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "No, I'm only playing." So the show time came, and I had a friend of mine who owned a limo company, and I said, "Hey, can we get a 12-passenger limo to go pick up Vinny?" She goes, "Sure." So we drive over to his hotel. I knock on the door, and he walks out, and he was just flabbergasted. He couldn't believe that I actually got him a 12-passenger limo. So fast forward 10 years later,
you're still paying for that limo.
Yeah, right. No, I was in Steelheart, and we were playing Rocklahoma, and we shared our trailer with UFO. And Vinny walked in, and I knew he wouldn't remember me, but I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, Vinny, I know you don't remember me." And he goes, "Bill, of course I remember you." He goes, "You got me a 12-passenger limo." Because I can never forget that. 10 years later, he remembered my name, which is more than I could say for you. But,
Come on. I mean, at the age I'm at, I'm lucky if I remember things that happened 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, right. I hear you.
It's all good, though. It's all good.
Yes. And we're working on the new album together, which is fantastic.
The new record. And what's the title of that record?
And the title of the album is Friends of My Enemies. Yes.
Named after me?
We'll just leave it at that. Friends of My Enemies.
It's a great record. I'm really enjoying the creation of this thing. It's a very organic way that we work.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
We have a lot of
fun. We have a lot of fun.
We have a lot of fun, and we have a lot of different directions we can go in things, and we kind of we deal with it by committee, right? But the only people that are in a committee is just you and I. So it's kind of you have a shorter word for that. It's called an argument. We argue about which direction we're going to go in. So,
or it's called the mafia. So,
hey, you're sitting in the right room there.
Yes, you got it.
You like ice skating? Yep.
So yeah. So
that record. When are we looking for that? How soon is that going to be?
Like I've been telling people, when it's done, that's when it'll be. That's when it's done. And when it's done, it's done. I don't want to rush it. I don't want to. There's no reason to put it out before we're all 100% happy with it.
I was speaking earlier about some of the tours we did together.
Oh, yeah.
What did we do? Was everything in America? Did we do anything in Europe?
No, but we did Mexico.
Oh, okay.
3 U.S. tours in Mexico.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Awesome. Somebody asked me today, said, who was in the chat actually said, how did you guys meet? And I said, well, originally met you in 87, 88 at a guitar show, and you were totally rude in a funny way, but it was your personality, so I'm used to it. And then I met you at a guitar clinic later on, and then you're not getting off the hook with me. And then later on at guitar clinic, and then when we opened for you in San Jose and Oakland, and then you guys asked us to tour with you guys, so we did 3 U.S. tours. It's
And
been a
our
blast.
relationship's grown from that. We're no longer immature people. We don't talk rudely to each other.
No, of course not. And you're going to be my best man at my wedding. So
that's right. And you're flying everybody that's here, that's in the chat, over there as a guest, right?
It's one big party.
That's the big statement you wanted me to make tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Everybody's invited. On your dime.
Yeah. So.
On your dime.
Well, listen. Here's what the thing is. The YouTube channel has a lot of cool things on it. What does the YouTube channel have on it that I need to know about? What's so important about the YouTube channel?
The YouTube channel that you guys are working on?
Yes, sir.
So this came about because my fiance Scheherazade got asked to do a voiceover on this kind of meditation style YouTube channel called The Dream Effects. It's thedreameffects.com. Mm-hmm. And then we pulled you in to do music, to do keyboards and stuff on it. So I don't know if they have the one that you did up yet, but it sounds really cool with you and her doing the vocals and you doing the keyboards.
She's such a wonderful singer.
Yeah.
And it's such an honor to work with her. She's an immense talent. Yep. And just a natural musician. I mean, you can sing charts if you like. You don't have to.
Yeah. She's
got such perfect pitch and just an amazing ability to get across what the original goal was.
Yeah.
And, I've done a couple of songs, and I've got 2 other things that I'm working on right now.
Awesome. So if people want to hear that, then go to thedreameffects.com, and that'll take them to the YouTube channel. Yeah. Yep. And then let's see.
Dreameffects.com. Yeah.
Yep. And let's see what else. I got my strap locks. That company.
I never got mine. I'd like to speak to the president of that because I sent out like a pair of those for my guitars. I never received them. Is this where I voice the complaints?
This is where you do the complaints, but I'm pretty sure that the president told you about it. And you said, "Well, I use these little things that clip on. They look like dinner plates at a hotel." So it's just I don't know what that's all about. But
I love that.
Yeah. Straptight.com. That's the website. Joe Satriani uses them. He loves them. Glenn Hughes uses them. Andy Timmons uses them, but not Tony MacAlpine.
Oh, you're kind of overloading the boat now. Is that what you're doing? Yeah, take it easy there, killer.
We got all kinds of play. This guitar would have them on there, but it doesn't. But yeah. So when am I going to figure out when I'm coming back there to work more on the album and all that fun stuff?
Well, we have some higher up people here that run the show.
Yeah. Kind of got to work it out through them.
And if he says you can come down, then you can come down.
Well, hopefully next time.
So far, he hasn't said you can come down.
Hopefully next time I'll come down, I get a little more than a hamburger or a hot dog. Eat some of those, steaks and pork chops you guys got going on there.
Yeah, those crazy pictures we see, huh?
Yeah. You're always sending me dinner pictures.
And they eat a lot down here. I don't really get much. Can't you tell by the size of my arms?
Oh, I can see those guns. Everybody can see those guns.
Yeah, easy now.
It's like a howitzer.
Whose guitars are in the background there? Those are all yours?
Mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many guitars do you own?
I don't know, like 20, something like that.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. So my little studio here. Yeah.
Well, Bill,
so
it's been an honor talking with you. I thank you very much.
You too.
I know
you for having me.
Stuff going with the rehearsal. Don't forget
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to come up on stage and jam with you on.
Well, you're doing
right. It's in the key to 4.
That's right, exactly.
Yes.
Well, everybody listening, Tony's doing keyboards on my new album and playing bass. So,
love you, Bill.
Love you too, man.
Thanks for joining, man.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a good rehearsal.
Right.
Have a great day. Cheers.
Right. Bye.
Bill Linero. That's a great guy. He's a great player. Very original musician. And which way is this thing going? Am I reading from down here, or am I going from? So I'm good here. Here, I'll let you do it because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Oh, okay. Got you. Because I kept moving it. Why does it keep moving? Oklahoma City. How you doing, Mohammed? And here is what do we got? Glenn Edwards. Thank you, brother. Yes. Guitar books. John Dolch. Guitar books. I don't know. I get different offers about different things to do. Consequently, I never really know how that's going to work, but we'll see. We'll see. If I could get into transcribing my own stuff and knowing that it was pretty accurate, I probably would do it. But there's some good people out there that know what they're doing. Juan Pablo Mendez says, I loved your work with the band MacAlpine, the record Eyes of the World, 1990. I always watched the videos of those concerts. Yeah, those were some fun concerts. We had David Van Landingham, a great singer. God bless him. You know, he was killed in an accident, but it's a great part of history for me. It was a cool thing. That was like in the beginning of the Polygram days. So for us, so we really loved it. And
impressed by or listening to
lately? You know what? That kind of question came up before, and I'm gonna start a little link that I think we're probably gonna get it rolling on social media, and I'm gonna lead into talking about things like that, about bands I like, and I don't know, because I like so many of them, I really do. So you never know. But talking about legendary bands, I got my good friend, great player, one of the best that you'll find, and Herman Li. And Herman is look at those. Don't tell me, right? Hey, let's throw on a few. I mean, can I run nine?
I broke into a guitar shop to do this. There's like a SUV turnover, smashed up the block away, took the power out of my house, so I have to break into a guitar shop.
Yeah. I see power you have. You basically power back on.
Yeah, it's back on. Thanks for fixing it, Tony. Saw you up the roof there.
It was you that did. How you been? Working on these days.
I've been good. I've been sick for 3 weeks actually, so I sound a little bit like Rod Stewart at the moment. So don't get too excited for my sexiness,
We will if you. But
yeah.
What have you been doing?
I have to make an album. Have to go on tour. So pretty much getting ready to do some of that. Every time I have to make an album, it scares me because it's like, well, what am I going to do this time? And they're going to say it's the same, even though it's not.
I know. But you know what? You don't have to worry about it. You're kind of legendary, and you are what you make it. You make it. Know what it's going to even comes out. The truth music that sets you announce.
I mean, I don't know. I'll ask you actually, because my problem is every time I make an album, it's like, well, I already done how many guitar solos on an album. Now I'm expecting to do another 30 on the next album. What do you do to make sure you don't feel like, oh man, I've done this before. Oh, I've done that before. What's your plan if you have to do that?
Well, I get probably mini band. I love the Planet X experience. All the styles were very different. For me, that's a legitimate answer with why I felt like I had to take so much time off in the early days to build up the language of maybe telling a different story as far as it went instrumentally, because I felt like I did so much stuff that was coming out naturally. And then when I met Derek and Virgil, the Planet X thing seemed like a natural way to go for a while. And, we did that. And then, venturing into the cab stuff and, back and forth, different things, jamming with Steve and, what a wonderful guy and, a legendary player. I just like doing as many things as possible. But I know that's not always the case. People can't always do that. They have to do, right? They have to do maybe one or two different things. But hey, we could do something different if you need to recharge your batteries. We could come out with a record. What do you think about that?
I'm totally into it, man. I'm up to doing one. Why not? It's actually easier because I haven't done something in a different genre. Recording seriously. I've done like stuff for projects, and it's actually easier because you can actually do something that you've done before on something else.
Well, I recorded down at jam in cab, so I know that you are fearless and you could play anything, and we all know what you're all about. So that would be a lot of fun to do, work on something with you and come out with it. Hey, wouldn't that be great? A record with Herman.
Even a few songs, few videos, it would be kind of cool.
All right.
All right. Yeah. These days you don't need to release 10 songs,
But you're not talking about singing, right?
No, we don't want singers. Don't want to deal with that situation.
Singers. Oh my God. You're very funny. When's the last time we jammed together? We jammed on a Twitch thing, I think. That's what we did.
Yeah, that was when you came over here. This room wasn't even ready. It wasn't even done up. So we were the back.
I took a look at it and I said, this doesn't meet my expectations. I'm going to need you to change it a little bit. But you've done a great job with my vision. I like it.
Yeah. So it was a while. I don't remember, but I had lots of fun. And I think for the people watching here, they don't know. I'm a big fan since I was like, I don't know, 17 or something. Wow. So I used to sit there and learn stuff off maximum security and freedom to fly, evolution.
Really?
Play them terribly.
Yeah. Hey, Bob says I should sing on the record. What do you think? You need a soprano for this stuff? What do you think? Nah. I think you need a real man's voice. The only time I sound really good is when I don't sleep and I go to bed at about 3 a.m. I wake up in the morning, I have a really deep voice. Otherwise, it just gets up in there, in the tweeters. I don't have that deep voice. I kind of wish I did. We always want something that we don't have.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it would be cool to sing, at least you can be popular for once instead of just, respected for like a few minutes.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. What else you doing? What else you doing?
Yeah. I actually got a child running around the house. It's kind of funny, screaming.
Now the last time I was over, did I see the kids?
No, it was too late. She was sleeping and quiet. These days she's not quiet. She's like an insane animal running around.
How old is she?
3 years old.
Already showing a sign of an interest in music?
Yeah. You know what? What was funny? So I told you about that SUV that crashed down the road. So I just picked her up earlier and I said to her, we're going to look at this car accident. Someone wasn't being careful with driving. And she goes, who? Uncle Tosin? She's thinking, what's in the backseat?
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
No, it's not Tosin. No.
No, it's not. Well, that's amazing. She's a smart girl. She's going to be soon. You're going to be happy with giving her the keys to the mom's car there?
Yeah. Key to the Lamborghini, right?
The Lambo. I think it's going to be probably an electric car by the time she gets her license.
Yeah, hopefully none of us have to drive by then.
Yeah, gas will be like a forgotten thing. It'll be like the horse and buggy by the time she's driving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, the age she's at. Come on. You can't get your license until you're like 16 or 17 these days, right?
I don't know.
I think that's what it is. I mean, I was driving probably illegally when I was 12. So,
but you're like a crazy motorcycle guy.
I am. I had like Hayabusas. Here's another little model. I actually had this model in
you do?
Yeah, this model, this paint job. But I like Suzuki bikes and Hayabusas, and I'm not like a speed nut, but I like traveling with the two wheels every now and then. I drive cars too, but I enjoy the outdoors.
I think motorcycle is way scarier than driving a sports car or anything.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll take you on a ride on the back of the bike. You know, you ride the bike. I'm on the back of the bike. Yeah, and then I'm going to go for a ride with you in the car, one of your sports cars, and I'm going to drive the car and you sit in the passenger side. Can we do that?
We can do that. Why not?
That's done. That's
Done.
gonna happen.
Deal.
That's totally going to happen. So, what's your favorite guitar back there? That's what I want to know. I always wanted to ask you that question. If you were going to point it out, which would it be?
I don't know actually. My favorite one, the one with sentimental value that I have, are back in England, where I still have my stuff there. But I have one cool one. Actually, I'm going to show you.
Okay.
People get a buzz out of this.
Show me that.
So, trying to outvie Steve Vai, right?
Color.
So this is usual stuff. Okay, we've seen this before. You've seen this on stage of Steve, but Steve doesn't have this.
Oh my gosh.
Wherever you touch.
Awesome. I love that.
That's the party trick for the show. At one or two songs.
You can put that on my acoustic guitar.
You put it on your piano.
Now that's another thing. I'd have to wear some kind of like diversion of light on those white keys. Wow, that's amazing. And how involved is that? Like to do? Is that something that's? I mean, how does it run? By batteries? Do you charge the thing, or how does it work?
Yeah, it's got a battery at the back. You basically have to steam the fretboard out of the
I see.
neck, put the electronics in, glue the fretboard back in, and obviously install the lights before you do that. And someone did it for me in Orange County, actually.
Oh, so your guitar company didn't do that?
No, Ibanez couldn't do that.
Oh, hey, shh.
They'll kill me.
Hey,
they go. You want what?
Yeah. To listening.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you, how high do you go with the extended guitars and the smallest guitar? And are you doing the 8-string things and 9-string guitars and 10-string guitars? I met this guy on the road at a 10-string guitar. I'm like, dude, come on, that's incredible. So,
well, I can barely play 6, but I do have the Tosin Abasi's 8-string here that I play around, just like a playing at home thing, not really to make on an album.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. That's a beautiful guitar, though. How many guitars do you have that feature with the lights?
Just one at the moment. I'm gonna have another one made. Just make it cool.
I always ask players this, but I kind of do. But I'm gonna ask you, put you right on that line. When you are recording like some of your favorite stuff and stuff that you did, do you have a guitar that you actually go to that you've used on more than one record? That's like kind of like your go-to guitar, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I use my main stage guitars for recording because it's the best sounding, it's the best feel of it. I'm not really I don't use different guitars in the studio. I use the same one I use on stage, same gear, same everything. Why figure it out a new thing? You're supposed to figure out for the stage, right? So optimize the stage performance instrument and use that on the recording too. That's kind of my idea. Yeah.
It's awesome. That's a good approach. I kind of like some of the original things that I've used. They make me a lot of cool projects, guitars, and test this, neck, test this body. But I kind of have this thing with guitar. I think I told you this when I jammed with you about how guitars feel when they're worn in. A certain thing when it's brand new. For me, it just takes a while for that guitar to be something that's like part of me. And
yeah,
when you get a new guitar, it's kind of hard for you to get away from that new guitar, and you know what I mean. And as an adverse thing to playing the used one, the one that's like worn in and it's got the worn away frets and all that other stuff. That's all part of the sound for me. I
agree. It sounds better. I like old, used up, beat up guitars. There's something about the tone. It's a bit warmer. It's a bit more pleasant.
Indeed.
It vibrates more.
Indeed.
But new are just like, it doesn't really move too much. It's
I
just
know
kind of
guys
like,
that like worn out strings though. That's the only thing I can't do. I'm like a day after that day, we got to change the strings. I like them kind of as new as possible. Are
oh
you
yeah.
guy? Or are you like worn out strings?
No, I like new strings. I had players that come here. I thought, oh my God, well, these strings are from the 80s. How do you guys even play these things? They're black. They're like got scum stuck to it.
Isn't that the
There's so many players. I know they're so good on the guitar because they don't spend their time changing strings ever. They just don't.
I do. I just don't like people changing the strings. I still don't. I like doing it myself. I just
Yeah.
there's a word for that, but I won't use it here. But you know, I'm that guy. I'm very controlling what the way and it's not that big of a deal. I just like to do it a certain way, you know.
So I got tools all over my table.
Oh, look at that. You too. Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, yeah. You're showing me.
Do it myself. You know, if you don't know how to change your own strings, you don't know to set up your guitar, then you don't know how a guitar should play, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. Hey, through all the stuff that's been going on, this crazy thing, like you know, the COVID experiences and all that. Have you been writing? Is that made you creative or added to your creativity? Or how do you because you know, people ask me all the time, how is this thing treating you? You can't like tour as much as you could or the way you did, and we certainly can't, you know, the price of fuel, you know, to be in those vehicles and all other stuff. But did you find it as a source of creativity for yourself?
Yes, because I felt like it pulled the brakes and slowed the world down and gave us a chance to think. You know, instead of everyone have to go a million miles per hour trying to make money or do things or being late, being you got the schedule. It's like, all right, can we just turn back the clock and go back before the computer existed? You can't do much and just slow down. I like the pace that slowed down. Actually, it actually helped me catch up with a lot of things I couldn't do when everything was in motion. Touring, you're making an album, you have to do promo, you got to do this. It's like, oh my God, why? I thought I'm just here to enjoy doing music. I'm not a slave of my own creation. I hope, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, well, that's you have a way of being creative that most people don't have. That translates into that being their lifestyle, and that's how I look at it too. I look at it like a lot of people love music, and but when that's your profession, it's a different thing, right? At the same time, you know, you and I talked about it, it's your job, right? So you can't say that, oh, I don't really feel good tonight. You know what I mean? I can't go to work because my arm's hurting, or you got to put on the same show, and kind of keep it as a standard. And I think that goes and works its way into the way that creativity serves us. I mean, you want each of the records that you do or that you're involved with, whatever musicians they are, whoever they are, you want it to be your highest level. And but hey, we're human, right? Sometimes you get involved in something and it's just like not quite, doesn't really come out. And I know you've experienced that. We talk about these things, it doesn't come out like quite the way that you thought it would. But you go out and you play live, and doesn't it come together? I think that's the one thing I missed through all of the COVID stuff and all that, is like I was on the road so much that I forgot, about kind of what it was like to be home. I was like always playing and living off of that energy of playing live, and it's a beautiful experience, and that's what I try to give to many musicians that I work with that don't have that same thing going on. It's not a regular 9 to 5 thing. But it's a beautiful thing when you can translate that into music, and certainly translate that and pin it out and write music that you think people are going to really experience and get them through these kind of things. Because we have a lot of dark times in this world, don't we? Isn't it crazy that all the different elements that we deal with in this life, and we're still supposed to be like pleased and happy, and
I know. I think kind of a weird thing to say. I mean, I don't really like to get deep into it, but I felt like
let's just jump in.
20 years ago, I felt like the world was supposed to get better, in a good direction. But it seems like the direction have changed again, and going backwards in a certain way, things getting worse, for people out there. So definitely strange. It's
always a pleasure to see you, man. It really is. And I got to make my way down there. I'll ride the bike down and come out and take you for a ride, get you a helmet. We can go to Walmart and get those little cheap plastic helmets on, and cruise on Sunset Boulevard or something like that. Hey, you're not into it? You're not into it?
Thank
Yeah, he's not into it.
you so much, Tony. Of course, a pleasure talking to you. Always love what you do. Everything musically,
Love you,
super
brother. Love you, brother.
respect everything you do, man. Love it. So
Thank you for coming in. Good luck with everything. And we're gonna get together and do something soon. I mean, we got to do that. Why not? Let's just have a little fun while we're here.
I'm game. I'm totally up for it.
Right.
Let's do it.
All right. Say hello to the family. Peace and love, bro.
Thank you.
Herman Li, everybody. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a look at everything that's coming here. And hi from Las Vegas. Hey, Brett. Greetings from Brazil. How are y'all? How y'all doing? You doing all right? Y'all are doing all right. Ring of Fire was one of my favorite bands. Nobody plays the guitar and keyboards at that level. Oh, come on. People do. Yes. Look at this stuff. This is really great. I love how these you guys talk about such unique things. And hey, like I said, John Doltz, we should do this more often. I think this will be our little experiment. We can find out kind of what works and what makes people feel good about certain things. And then who knows? Maybe we can make it some kind of universal jam session. That's always fun too, jamming over things. Like I could write some stuff and not tell people what key it's in. I won't tell them it's in the key of 4. And then they got to play. They're going to wonder, what the heck is the key of 4? Aren't they, Marissa? They're going to wonder, what the heck is the key of 4? I don't even know what the key of 4 is. What is this one? Can you read this one, Marissa? What is... Oh, I get it. I got it. Thank you, Elias. It's just so far away. It's hard for me to see it. Yeah. Awesome. So that was a lot of fun talking to Herman. Yeah, how are y'all guys doing back there? Is Mark still alive? Is he awake? Oh, I see him. I see a hand. There's a hand waving in the dark. Do I still have the diamond guitar? That's a good question. No, it was sold some years ago to a wonderful friend and a wonderful player, Rich Bierman. And I don't know what's become of that guitar. It was a BC Rich guitar, I believe. Really cool guitar. Really cool paint job. Not in possession of that anymore. Not anymore. And what else do we got there? That's a nice Yves Rivard. Fantastic neoclassical shredder. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. I get a lot of questions. Mike is asking me a question about what is the writing process on the new record and how the tunes come together. I write like all of the material by myself on keyboards. I've always written on keyboards first. And then I try to put the rest of the things together. Whether or not I'm successful or not, that's what the tracks are all about. And I approach it that way. Keyboards was my first instrument. So it's important for me to be able to approach my songwriting in that direction. And it's a percussive instrument. I can understand the rhythms that I'm dealing with. I don't really have to work with any machines or anything. I can pretty much, create it that way. So that's the whole process in terms of writing those things and doing it that way. The Cab record was written really pretty much the same way the new Cab record. And I think we're pretty close to deciding what tracks we're going to use. We wrote something like 15, 16 songs to get to the songs that we have now. So we'll see how that goes and see, when you write something, you take some time away from it. It's pretty amazing what it makes you feel like when you spend some time away and listen to different things and you come back, you have a different experience of what you think that song was all about and what it makes you feel like at the moment. So, that's a cool question. That's how the process is done. for me, that's how we write these things. How do I make this go up and down? This doesn't do that, huh?
It's comments are coming in from the top.
Oh, I see.
It's the same thing that you're seeing on the
Thank you. Hey, Danny from Austin. Danny. Hey, by the way, Mike Pishka from the Corfu Rock School. Thank you for that question about how I put these songs together. I love you, Mike. I got to see you soon. We got to get those motorcycles together. Danny from Austin. You ever talk to George Lynch? I just did a thing not too long ago at the Paul Gilbert camp with George Lynch. We played Tears of Sahara together for the first time live, and that was fun. That was an experience. George is a great guy and one of the most unique players that we've ever been so lucky to have here. So that was an amazing time. Yeah, George is cool. George is unique. One of the most. Hey, look, Marshall Owens says, get on Eddie Trunk's show. We'd love to hear what you've been up to. Yeah, I know. I was on that show like a lot of years ago. I think I'm going to. I did a Monsters of Rock cruise and another cruise, a progressive cruise, and I've seen Eddie on one of those cruises, and it's pretty amazing. The commitment and the joy that he has of being involved with the music that way. So listen, we're going to now we're going to talk to a wonderful friend of mine who's a student and composer and is working on material. And his name is Cyril.
Hello.
How are you, Cyril?
I'm doing great, Tony. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Oh no, not you too. Everybody's got a miniature guitar. What? What? I only have one.
I get two.
Oh boy, look at that guitar collection. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I'm enjoying this this phone situation, this community. Everybody gets together and talks about what they're feeling. What are you feeling these days? You tell me. I've had the pleasure of working with him on his music and developing what he's doing as a player. He came to me with some aspirations, some goals that he wanted to achieve, and he's embraced those, and his playing has just changed immensely, as did a lot of players that I've worked with. And tell us a little bit about what your experience has been like. And
Yeah, for sure. I think a ton of players actually can relate to my experience. So I was 15 when I grabbed the guitar. A friend was into metal. Listened to Metallica, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, and I grabbed the guitar. I did covers for a while, for about 3 to 4 years, and then life got busy, and then I got old, and then in 2009, actually, when Les Paul died, that kind of reignited the flame, for me.
yes,
I grabbed the guitar again, and I started noodling for, I don't know. Maybe 5-6 years on and off, trying to find stuff on internet to learn, and I think I ended up in the loop that a lot of us get in, to a point where one day someone I know actually told me that T-Mac gave lessons, and I thought there's no way a guitar hero, guitar god actually would get close to me. I tried my luck, and here we are. It's been 6 months. I've been with you. Opening new doors to new worlds pretty much every week, like going into things that I never thought I'd be able to do, seeing myself on a video, obviously not in front of you because it can be super intimidating to, dial in and go, okay, I have to deliver, but it's also a huge drive. And, I think, you've seen it more than I see myself, on your side, that I've progressed over the last 6 months. You haven't seen the last 10 years, so you can't really tell right now that, the last 6 months for me have been a much bigger adventure than a long time before that. One thing that's to me interesting also in all the comments I see is that everybody's harping on about, how good you play the guitar or the piano, how incredible your music is. And I don't think a lot of them know you're even a better teacher than you are a player. And so that's the thing that to me, I think is going to stick with me for the next couple of decades, is that, you can play really, really well the guitar, but it's really hard. It's even harder to teach, and I really like what you do. So thank you.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that because the approach is that the experiences that you are going through as a player are not unique only to you. Every musician goes through that at one time or another, and so there has to be a method of knowing that the results can only be achieved by the same system. And I always tell you that. It seems like a method of madness, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
what it is. It's all about keeping the interest level where it should be and the growth of it all.
Mhm.
You have a commitment. You have a wonderful family. You're busy with that. You have a wonderful job, and yet you still find time to do the things that are important and are fun for you artistically. And it's really like a, I don't know, microcosm of what you go through as a player on when you're touring. I mean, you go on stage for what, an hour, but yet you drive for 800 miles to get to that, that one show to play for that little bit of time, and then not eat so well unless some friends in the towns you go to that feed you well. So it's all part of the same. And but congratulations to you for the commitment that you've shown and the growth that you've experienced. And I can't wait to, so you and I are working on the ideas of what composition are all about. And I can't wait for you to actually get a really nice size catalog of material that, that you can, revert back to and go, this is some of my favorite stuff. That's some of my favorite stuff.
For sure.
How do we get into, the studio and make that happen? And and that's obviously our goal with working with, you and many of the other players that we work with, is to develop them to that point where they have an understanding and an interest much higher than they did when they started, that they can still do many different things in life. So
we also go through a ton of very interesting tunes. I feel things that I think I would have never listened on my own if you didn't go on Saturday morning, just listen to that for a week, try and figure it out. Here's the sheet music. Tell me where it's going to be played on the neck and why, and then obviously fail and go again through it. But things that really open your mind to new, like watching birds, for example, was a huge one for me.
Yes.
Listening to violin and the way the phrasing is behind that.
Yes.
And what you can bring into the guitar. So I think that's also super interesting for everybody.
Yes. So you've done amazing stuff with Jean-Luc Ponty's, the renditions that we've created so that you could study that. He's a great violinist, and his contributions to music are timeless and endless. The early days of Frank Zappa and all the things that he's done, and his early records, and the people that have worked with him and contributed to his playing, George Benson, Alan Holdsworth, Daryl Starmer, it just goes down the line. Steve Smith, who I was lucky enough to have to work with on my very first record, Edge of Insanity, that was put out by Shrapnel and Mike Varney, and in the early days, and those kind of things are just kind of a circle of life, and I have a love for so many different styles of music, and I always try to make sure that the players, and that's what I consider everybody a player. The players that I work with can appreciate, embrace that, and know that this might not be your favorite style of music. If we start learning this style and you're into that style, and then there's that style and this style, but it's just check this out and give it the dedication and the care. And that's what music is really all about. And you've done such a great job with that. It's good to see you. I'm hoping that I'm still invited to the barbecue. Am I invited to the barbecue? Yeah. Yes. Yes. And tell everybody what country? Where are you from?
Okay, so I was born in France. I think everybody's worked that out already with the accent. I've got an interesting family too, and I've got a thing for languages. Obviously, I speak Japanese at home with my wife. My daughter was born in Australia. You can see my Australian citizenship document right here. But I live in Orange County, so if Herman would like to share, the name of that guy who put all the LEDs, I'd love to meet the guy.
That's great. That's great. Cyril, it's so good to see you, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Love you very much. I'll
Love
see
you
you
too.
soon in the next session we have. All
Thank
right.
you.
Cheers. Take
See
care. All right. Wow. Jolly times. Jolly times. What a great player he is. He's a wonderful player. How is everybody doing there? Greenland. Where's Greenland? Where is that? Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Brandon. Yes, open your mind to music. Take in all the world has to offer. Thanks, Mike James. You're right. Yes, there's some great messages popping in, and now, we're thinking about you guys are meeting some of the cool players. They're popping up on your screen, and that's a beautiful thing. Some of these players have so many different contributions that they're making as players, and their styles are very different. That's one of the things that's very important. That I'd like so many different styles, and I think that's an important element, at least in the time that we live, because so many things are so accessible, like instantaneously. You can listen to something and be influenced by what you hear. But the most important thing is listening to the things that you hear and feel inside. I think that's very important. I have another player that I work with very closely. Justin Case is.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Oh, we always hear you, dude. I don't know. What do you have for a microphone? Like a Marshall microphone or a Hughes and Kettner powered microphone? What do you got? It just
I
comes
have
in.
yeah. Studio
Yeah.
Projects B1, but I just have a very powerful voice. That's all.
The amazing thing about you is that you play. It's funny. We talked about this, right? The left hand or the right hand. It's like, but I don't know. It's not the same as the hand that I hold. But it's amazing sometimes, right? When we get together and we talk about things, and he's been studying for a while with me, and tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll circle back to the differences of who's holding the neck the proper way, because I'm trying to make him hold it in my direction.
I'll just start using my wife's guitar. Hers is a righty. It's pink. I am not ashamed.
Be proud. Be proud.
That's right. Be proud and be brave, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I got started playing guitar probably when I was 19. I'm a late bloomer, and it was kind of interesting because when I really got interested in the instrument, I was sitting in high school, and the teacher had like these nylon string guitars, and they were just like student level Yamaha things, and I started doing tricks on the guitar automatically. I bonded with it, and teachers, I started doing things, and the kids are like, "What's he doing?" And so the teacher's like, "Okay, Elvis Presley, knock it off," because I'm from New York, so everyone's a little on edge, But it was like she's like calling me Elvis Presley and stuff, and I became friends with this kid. Well, then we were kids, and he showed me how to like alternate pick and play power chords. I didn't know what a power chord was. And so I had already been playing trumpet, and I could, read sheet music and sight read on that level, single notes, not really chords or anything. But
Right.
I just my sister listened to a lot of Van Halen and ZZ Top, all the greats,
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until probably I had a couple of Van Halen live albums, but then I heard Yngwie Malmsteen, and I was like, this guy's over the top. This guy's like, on the verge of playing too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, then I started listening to some other bands like Planet X. And then I heard you play on there, and I was like, this is a guy that he plays appropriately, for what the music calls for. And I was drawn to that. And So I had the first Planet X Universe album. Then I got I bought the second album that you did, and I can't remember what that one is. One is Maximum Security, isn't it?
The second solo record I did was Maximum Security.
That's the one because it has Autumn Lords and everything like that,
Yeah.
and it's great. So when I heard that, I was like, I had to go back in your catalog, and then I came back, and it was just amazing how you were able to, do the style of Planet X like you were talking about earlier. It's far different,
Yeah.
and so that kind of just set me on the track to, where I'm at now, and I've played with a lot of different groups like around locally, and it was kind of funny because I kind of stopped playing for a while because
That's about when you and I kind of met and hooked up and talked. And
a friend of mine said you were doing lessons. I'm like, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if they're actually going to ask me if I send something in. I'm like, fine, I'll send it in.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like, couldn't believe it. And so I was like, ever since then, I was back on the instrument, and I kind of polish off those old sight reading skills and understanding time signatures. And
isn't guitar such an amazing thing, though? Isn't it in a way that it's such a universal instrument? When you think about it, you pick it up, and you play it, and then you have these different styles that that you admire that other players have, as you mentioned, Eddie Van Halen, and and you think that it's crazy how you can just learn a lick and play that lick, and it encourages you to do something. That was like the start for me too, listening to such great stuff early on, and I loved it. I started with piano, and my parents didn't really want me using my ear too much because those piano lessons were expensive, so they wanted me to be playing that. But I would sneak and find times for that. But I say that because you mentioned you started with the horn, right?
Oh yeah,
that was your first thing. And do you still play that horn? You tell me occasionally, right?
I'm getting back into it, and my kids actually got me like, hey, you need to play the trumpet again. So they're encouraging me, and I have that instrument to thank for being because I can read music because of it. So
yeah. And now I get into playing piano stuff. So you're playing keyboards now too, and everything. And
yeah. That's it's funny because I've always wanted to play that instrument, but I was like, I don't know if I want to get into that because I'm doing guitar, and now obviously you've shown me the light as far as the really the genesis of composition is really on the piano. I mean, there's just a depth and a tonality of that instrument that really you can't get on a guitar. It's the richness of the notes, and it's a fascinating instrument. I mean, it's it's just a row of keys, but there's something about it where there's so much more dimension there.
Well, the one difference being you play that note and that note's gone, and you really can't control what happens with that note unless it's a short note, right, or it continues.
Right. Yeah.
That's really the difference of it. With guitar, right? You play it, you're always holding on to that note, but you can add vibrato to that note. There's no vibrato with the with the piano, right?
Oh yeah.
And so it's very percussive, so timing is very important. And
yeah.
And you're looking great, man. It's like I saw you not too long ago, but you're looking happy, and which is
right.
It's an important look for a musician, isn't it? Looking happy.
Yes, you have to. Who wants to buy the album if everyone's scowling? Like, what's their problem?
No, that used to be the marketing image.
Right.
Yeah. So you're
looking grunt era.
I'm thank you for joining in and talking with us and commenting and saying hello, and we really appreciate that, Justin.
No, feelings mutual. This is an honor. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. I'll see you down the road shortly, huh? Yeah.
Oh yes.
All right. Take care. Cheers. Cheers. And now, when does the pizza come? When do we get the pizza? Mark, are we getting a pizza? I think you said something about a pizza, right? Sure. He doesn't sound that convincing. Are we really getting a pizza?
We can.
Yeah. We can? I thought it was like coming.
I will make it happen.
No, we don't need a pizza. I am totally kidding. And he's going to say, I told you that, you thought you were serious. Look at that. I love that. How's everybody doing? You guys enjoying meeting all these people and talking with them? I think these people are. It's just like the epitome of energy. Scott, how you doing, brother? I got to send you the Brahms. Okay, I'm gonna first do that right away. We're gonna send you the Brahms, and we're gonna meet and talk to TQ, who's one of the most interesting and amazing players that I've had the pleasure of working with and then kind of guiding, and very unique player. Tim is one heck of a unique composer.
How you doing?
And I'm a huge fan of you, sir. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I appreciate that.
Yes, and he's Marissa, you know, that contribute life to the sanctity and the peace of our country. So, and say involved in music in such a deep way. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how your love for music started. How did you get into music, and how did we meet? You don't have to tell me the consequences of what the conversation was like with me when you met me, but you could be nice and avoid that.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, my love for music started like at a very early age. A lot has to do with my father. Was a huge influence. He played the piano, and he was one of those guys who had like that wooden shelf with all, the speakers and the equalizers and a wall of CDs and records, and
Mm-hmm.
I had a pretty vast, musical palette,
Mhm.
that I was influenced by. But surprisingly, I started on drums before I ever picked up guitar, and then from there it went to bass, and then eventually to guitar. And it was something about the thicker strings, I'm playing bass, and then picking up the guitar. I was like, that this seems a lot easier.
Wow.
But then when you get like deeper into guitar, you start to realize like, oh, there's a lot more to this.
There really is, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I was gonna say like those first few years, which was like around 13 years old, I didn't even know theory existed. So I would just sit there.
I still don't. Does it
But,
exist?
what I would do is just try to like find like a combination of notes that expressed how I felt. Like that's what the instrument was to me. I just thought people picked it up and then just played how they felt. So that was like my foundation for a few years until I realized like, oh, there's actually like structure to this. And that's when I started to really get into teaching myself. It's all self-taught. I didn't, go to a school and learn that way. It's always just been all throughout my life having to be real responsible and just find the time to do it.
Yeah.
So, and then.
And that's what people are seeking, I really think, in music. It's probably like creativity and originality. Right?
Yes.
All right. At the same time, I think it's interesting that you were listening to a lot of stuff, but still you found time to be very creative in because your music is very, very original.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate that.
Because you and I are working on a composition together, and that's the basis of really what we do. I don't really have to show you the key of 4. you know kind of where it's really at, and that's a great thing. It's so wonderful to be able to introduce people to that don't really have that beginning, but you have that beginning, and you really understand kind of what you want to do in terms of expressing yourself and the instrument that you chose to do that with.
Yeah,
but the interesting thing about you is that you are very curious about the boundaries and.
Oh yeah, for sure. Kind of froze there.
How we doing?
Good now.
Yeah. So I was saying to you that it's important that the things that I turn you onto, you kind of interpret that into your own experience, and you see how great composers. I don't think that we're doing anything any different than what other people have done early on. We're just contributing to the giant pool of this manifestation of music.
Mhm.
Kind of really what it is, and it's a calming device, and it lets you kind of really just be part of the energy. It's really what music it is. It's not something that needs to be owned personally. It's just really, I think you do a great job of that, and I'm a fan.
You've really helped me develop, how I approach, composition. Like some of the other students were mentioning the piano and the keyboard. I've really pushed myself to do that a lot more and write specifically from there. Thanks to you, just because you've pushed me to really look in history of composition and all of this. And I like the way you put it. You said divine music that exists out there.
Yes.
And there's just so much of it, and it inspires me to just push those boundaries, and see how far I can take it. And if people, hopefully I can make it interesting that people want to listen to it.
I think you are. I think you are now, and I think you will. I mean, we're really looking forward to and completing this record that you're going to do for the label, and we're really looking forward to that. You're very close to that.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
You're getting there. You just keep making these additions to obviously telling more stories with the particular songs that you have, and that's right. That's something that we all deal with. That's part of this league, part of this game, right? You gotta, right? It's all part of it. It's part of telling a story. Philosophically, but it's music, right?
Yes.
So that's the interesting thing, because you have to listen to it and get the same emotion that you think that somebody else might get.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do get that, you feel like you're doing your job.
Yeah, that's always the goal. Is because my music is very emotional. I always connect and express myself through what I'm writing.
Yeah.
So I'm always hoping that when someone listens to it, they get that same feeling.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, thank you for coming up and talking to us. I'm going to see you pretty soon, in a few days, I think. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to hearing some new material. Definitely, and I think everybody here, we all love new material, so it's a great thing. You're one heck of a player, and you're a gentleman, and
that means a lot to me.
And thank you for joining us and talking with us, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, you're Tony MacAlpine, man. This is a huge honor for me, and it means a lot more to me than you probably realize. So thank you so much for having me.
Love you, brother.
Yeah, love you too. Take it easy.
Talk to you soon. Cheers.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a comment from
Nick
It says, ordering a pizza now. Thanks for the inspiration.
Oh, but is it coming to our house, or does he need our address so that we can get it? What kind of pizza are you ordering? That's what I want to know, Nick. What's on that pizza? Hey, Mark, doesn't pizza sound in order? Can we go get one tonight?
Yep.
I would love to have one. These musicians that, we listen to in our lives, they provide such peace for us. And, I have so many different musicians that I listen to that provide a peace for me during all the craziness in this world. I think that's how I look at it. It's almost like a medication, a mental medication, right, Mark? It's like a mental medication. So it's a great thing. It wouldn't be possible if to do this music thing if you didn't have an imagination. So you got to realize that having an imagination is part of it. I have worked most recently with some musicians that have incredible imagination too. As an engineer and as a performer, Adair, Daufembach, what an incredible guitar player. He poses as an engineer, and he's a genius at it. But I'm sitting in his kitchen and he's playing guitar for me, and I'm like, what are you doing? And you remember that? You remember it? I'm like,
I can't like that. Like,
that
I still remember that day. I didn't know I played the guitar. When the first time I played, it was like, what?
I've had the pleasure of working with him on records, and I've enjoyed it, and I've learned so much from him, and what I should and shouldn't do when I'm at home tracking by myself. Luis, you need no explanation or any kind of invention of an introduction, because I'm such a huge fan of your playing and everything.
Thank you, my friend.
That you do, my friend. You just are a tremendous player, and
thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here, man. So
the world is your stage, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't see my picture back there. I see Eddie. I should be in. I love that picture. Eddie's just amazing.
Yeah, it's a great picture.
Tony, like, such a pleasure being here, man. Like, it's an honor.
Dude, you know, I've got to say, isn't that an incredible loss? The loss of Eddie Van Halen.
Oh my God.
How did that affect you? Where were you when that happened?
Man, to be honest, I knew Van Halen, of course, a lot of Eddie stuff, but I really got into Van Halen after he died, because how such an impact he had. You know, of course, everybody knows it, but like the real impact changed everything, the landscape of guitar playing forever, and really deep, because he's just the one. You know, he invented most of this stuff. So I was really sad for like weeks and weeks, and it was like I knew him.
You know,
it's like such the Jesus Christ of guitar died.
You know,
that's the best way I can put it.
Fast life that we live, and I remember growing up, going to those concerts. You know, watching the Diver Down concert, watching one of the first concerts. They were opening for Black Sabbath. I remember that he was part of the Jason Becker benefit and and I got a chance to talk to him.
Yes.
You know, he was just like a funny individual, just full of energy, and just amazing. Right. And obviously the contributions that he made are just huge, and he's greatly missed. And we appreciate everything that he's done.
Yeah, man.
And that's just
what year was that? What year was the Jason?
Jeez, you're asking me? It's like asking me what time it is and what day it is.
All right.
It was some time ago. It was It was in Chicago. I remember that.
Chicago.
Is that helpful with your research?
No, yeah. I'll search on YouTube, because I've seen a video when he meets Jason Becker and goes to his house. Might be the same kind of time period there.
Luis and I have this great. I mean, it's a blessing to be able to work with this man on the lower part of the screen here. Adair.
True.
I mean, a true.
We both share this opinion.
Yes, a contributor to the guitar art, really the music art.
Okay,
really. That's
okay, guys. You guys will get the Zell like the broadcast.
Well, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your becomings. You're from the countries, and tell us about how it affected your creativity, and tell us about Brazil and your life, and tell us a little bit, because we'd love to know.
This for you, yeah.
You guys can talk over each other. You're the engineer. You just pull his fader down.
Okay, so you,
yeah,
you started there.
I'm the guy who mixes stuff, right? So I would be able to make our both voice, right? That's the thing. Well, I started in Brazil.
Well, you create space. That's what you do. That's what you're always teaching me.
Yeah.
You got to create space for something to go to, right?
Because we're 38 tracks of keyboards, we need space, right?
I am a keyboard player at heart. All right.
Oh, I'm a keyboard player. Like every 5 minutes, we're here mixing. I'm a keyboard player. And I'm a keyboard player. But in the a guitar, that's not fair. I'm just kidding. It's fair with the rest of the humanity of the human, humans in general. That Tony is able to play keyboards and the guitar he plays. That's not fair with all of us.
I feel so blessed to have you involved working on the Equilibrium record, and Luis being part of the videos. I can't wait to do some with you live. I mean, that's just going to be. I mean, we're probably going to have you on a video screen because that's kind of like what you used to, and you know, we'll show the video screen.
And I played the bass on the video, and it was one of the worst, most difficult things I am like learning two Tony MacAlpine songs like on our show. Like,
yeah, those are hard songs, man, to play.
oh my god!
Well, I wasn't making them hard. I was just trying to do what I thought should be done.
No, I know it's second nature for you, but for us, it's how to play it, you know, because to listen is like one thing, but then how to break it down and learn it. What I like about your songs, like, you know, like I think my car sometimes I listen to your stuff, and it's really cool how you put together things so sophisticated, but to listen to is very simple to understand. The melodies you do. So I never forget that song Poison Cookies that we did, and then I came home and I said to other man that song, and he's like, dude, Poison Cookies. That I think that's my favorite song of yours, man.
Well, thank you, brother, so much. I heard that you were in Las Vegas doing some work.
Yes, so I was in the
talk about that. It says on the bottom of the screen, do not talk about him in Las Vegas.
That's funny. So yeah, I was with the band. I've been playing with Red Devil Vortex. It's been a while.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we were shooting two videos there, and we have a
Devil. Did you see the band?
No. The show that they saw, Marissa and Mark, it was my solo show at the time. But I already played with Red Devil. But I have my own thing. Like Red Devil has a full album produced, ready to be released next year. So now we're just doing the plans, how to put it together as videos.
I don't.
How do
does that work?
Find the time?
Yeah, to learn and not confuse the songs you're playing with the other band. I mean,
oh man,
that was the one thing about Mike.
I
that he's like,
a lot,
like all these different bands at one time. I'm like, dude, if I did that, I'd be playing the wrong songs in the wrong key at the wrong time for the wrong band. You know?
No, for your stuff, I gotta tell you, like for your stuff, that caliber of like musicians, more like straightforward, more concentrated in the vocals, because you're the singer of your band, right, Tony? Solos and stuff, but like all the parts of your songs, I had to stop like for a week just to listen, replay it, and nothing else, you know, because they demand a lot of attention. But anyways, coming back, it's been really cool because I produce our record, and we're gonna release it next year. And I was in Brazil a month and a half doing a guitar show tour, so
that
awesome. Was really, really cool. I did see a lot of people talked about you too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Adair, I got to ask you.
Yeah.
It must come up to you a lot that, you know, people don't really. I mean, I don't think they're able to put it in words. But how do you find the way to approach like all of these artists that you work with in such a unique way? It's very unique. And you know, you can answer that. It's certainly not a cookie cutter approach that you have, that you work. I mean, the first time I ever met you, I was with my very dear late wife, Begonia, and times that we spend time together. I'm saying, you know, and I remember you coming to Pasadena, and yes, and you guys came, and what how is that approach like very unique with you? How do you?
I like original art from the artists as much as I can, you know, because if all the time I try to sound like always, let's say 100% like I want them to sound, you know, after 5-6 years, everything I do, it's going to sound the same. So it's like, I always try to listen to what people want, you know. For example, your music, it's dynamic. Some of the previous records you wanted more powerful, but the previous record, like, it's really dynamic. It's almost like a slash metal slash rock and roll party song in the end.
Yeah. That's true.
So the same, like and when I listen to Louis' stuff, I think that the music speaks for itself, you know, like when it's the things that hear and I feel it's completely different when I hear your stuff. So it's
Right.
something natural for me. Like I don't know. That happens all the time. Like some people want to work with you and blah blah blah, and then we talk a little bit, and then I say, yeah, Tony MacAlpine, and sometimes I work with bands like that, like death metal,
Right.
death metal band from North / Los Angeles, and they're like, did you work with Tony MacAlpine? Like, work with this band, so I love that actually. I can do
I want to ask you this.
big rock music.
I want to ask you, like,
you know?
what is you? Because you work in all these different continents. What's the difference? What is it like working in Brazil as opposed, musically, the music scene, as opposed to in Europe, as opposed to working in America, as opposed to working all the places you go? You go everywhere. Come on, let's be serious. What is it like? How does that like transmit?
It's crazy. It's different because the people is different. Like when everything is so different. Like people's expectation, the culture, that like has a big influence on the music. It's ever. I have to say, you were a good. You were like Jimmy Fallon for the musicians, like question. But it's like it's crazy because clearly feel that when I'm in Brazil, like people has like same in Europe, like people are different, same here. But in the end, of course, it's all music. But again, what I try to is to like listen to what are the musicians expecting from what they expect from the album, and that's the thing. Like when I'm in Brazil, like when I'm here in Europe, they expect different things, and when I'm completely different,
Yeah.
But I will not say it's the same, but they personality, like.
But you have a consistency that's enigmatic over everything. I mean, it's just
because
you're one of the first guys that I've ever worked with that I was like, yeah, get it together. I know you remember this, and I go, and I'll reach you later for the comments about, and you just. I should have known then that you were a guitar player because everything was perfect. The melody lines were here and the rhythms were perfect. And I was like, it was like getting a Christmas present. I had nothing to say.
I swear, it was like in the first record, you said the first song, the first feat, great mix, like no comments. I swear, like here is the like. I was talking to Mike at the time, Michael Masker, and I was like, is everything okay? Like, and the whole record, we almost had, and I was still like, is this real?
Yes.
It's like I try to every time I get in the studio with a band to get the band's vibe. It's not about me; it's about them.
Yes.
I want to learn from them. I want to understand them. Like what they're expecting from the music.
Well,
so
bless you for all of the contributions that you've made to music. Really, I mean, I can't wait to work with you on some of these new projects that we're talking about doing with developing the new students records. And, Luis, it's just so wonderful for you to have this professor as a brother, a household family member.
Dude, I'm going to be honest that he completely changed my life in many, not only personally, but as a reference of work ethic.
$100.
Can also... I'm gonna keep talking, so prepare your pocket. Seriously, he teach me a lot. He taught me a lot of things. I always say to bands that I recommend him that he's a good producer with a vision of career development and what are the next steps that you should take, and how he was in the market. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think. Coming like just answering a little bit of the talk about that specific what is different about Brazil and the States, and we always talk about how I think here you have more resources and therefore people importance to things and things are less worthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't have a lot of resources. Things are expensive, but people you can see in their eyes, the shining when they do something that, something small, maybe just record a song or two. Things are not accessible. Therefore, people give more value, I think. South America in general and third world countries. But in America, you have more resources, and you with who has the more resources, because then you have the more opportunities and a bigger market to and just work with. So I think that would be the biggest difference.
Now, are you in town? Are you in town?
Yes. I came back 3 days ago. Yeah.
Oh, Marissa just saw the dog. He loves dogs. Oh my goodness. What do you have to say about that, Marissa? He's so cute.
Yay!
He had to cut you up, Luis, with the dog. He pulled a dog trick.
No, he's worth it. It's worth
Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah.
No, I already said, but coming back
But you're back in town, yeah? Back in town.
Yeah, so I'm back because I spent a month and a half in
You
Brazil.
shot a vid out there and you did a record, or what'd you do?
I was in Brazil doing a guitar show tour. Guitar show is the name of my clinic, because I don't usually very boring, so I cannot sit still and play. I like to perform and give my best. So I created these.
I know that about videoing with you. I had to keep getting pushed out of the screenshot because like you're moving so. Hey Tony,
No, but,
you're in my swing space. I need to.
No, dude. No, for real. I think clinics in general, I don't relate to it. So I created these events where you go to a bar, or even sometimes like a little theater, and I did 16 dates across the country, and it's years since I last been to Brazil before this time.
Yeah.
So I missed a lot of people in America, and
I know that one time we talked about doing together in Europe, and we almost had that together. But we had some different things happen with COVID and all that. But we got to get that together, and it would be great to have you in there, and you come out and play some stuff with me and all that other kind of crap. And it also if who knows who's going to cover Adair's flights to get over there, so that he
I can play bass. Okay. I can try. I can just.
Now you can shut us all down and play guitar. We're happy with that too.
True.
We will play bass for you. That's double bass. Just both of you guys are such tremendous players. I mean, it goes without saying.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure.
Not even half.
Thanks for having us.
Not even a quarter of what you guys can do. But I'm happy with the comment.
Well,
he's shy when he comes to his guitar playing, because sometimes he picks up the guitar and he as a lead player, but as a rhythm player, he changed my perspective of what to get the best sound of the guitar. So,
dude, he's like James Bond. He just I didn't know he played. I'm sitting in his kitchen and he picks up the guitar and goes, this is 5. This is 7. He's just playing all these crazy things. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm trying to eat my pizza.
I remember one call where I was playing the guitar while we were talking on the phone, and you were like, "Stop shredding!"
I'll never play again in front of you. Yeah, just amazing. You guys, I gotta tell you, I love you guys so much. It's so good seeing you and capping it off.
Same from here, Tony. Same from here.
Thank you for coming in and checking in, saying hi, and tell all the people there in the area that I said hello. And we gotta. I gotta put the bike back together again. The boost. I realized that when you rebuild the motor, you gotta put the motor back in the bike. So I'll do that. Right? You can't just go look at what I've done.
Sometimes we have to do it. Every once in a while.
Back in the bike and fire it up. But I'll do that. You guys, thank you so much for coming out, saying hi, and we'll do this again. And we all got to play together again soon, Luis. We're going to do something.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Congratulations on all your stuff. Congratulations on what do you have new coming out that you worked on at Adair? Any new projects that you want to say something about?
I've been working a lot with a lot of bands, like people from the US, from London,
Seizure.
from Seizure. Seizure. I did the Red Devil Vortex. It was amazing. I have some Kiko stuff coming on, a lot of Dirk's projects, it's I'm quite busy, but I'm happy.
Very good here, and what a great,
Super happy.
just such a blessing to have him on the Equilibrium record.
Oh my God! Like
Just
best drummer, best person in the planet. Oh my God!
the best, and the best in the business. Just wonderful. All
Awesome.
right, you guys. Love you all. So take care of yourselves.
Love you, Tony.
You
Thank you very
too.
much for having me.
All right, ciao.
Being us here.
All right.
Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao. See
Ciao.
ya.
And we are probably going to look at some of the questions we have here, huh? Those guys are just incredible. I mean, all the great great things that we had to talk about. Hey, we're fighting about the mouse. Most people just like stomp on the mouse. What did they mean about students' albums? Well, so the students are some of the earlier, we had such tremendous players on earlier. Cyril, our Londechamap, Justin Case, and Timothy Quinn. I teach a lot of guitar students. The methods of improving the things that they're have a desire to get better at. The composition and certain playing features and different things. And they've gotten to the point where these things are really part of their nature, which is kind of what you hope to reach as a player. And they've reached that. And because we have this label, there's the MacAlpine wrote it, put out the Equilibrium Records, and we are recording some of these students, their compositions on their own records. So it's a great way for them to be able to get their material done. What would you like, this thing? Oh, okay. She wants the keys to the car here. You gonna go shopping? It's a great way for them and I together to work in a continuation of the ideals that we worked on. So and get them to the point where we can record these things, and their aspirations are always, like most of us, to be able to be in a position where they can record things and put out a record, so to speak. And that's what we mean by the students' albums. I'm a student too. I'm a student of the arts. Ain't I, Marky? Yeah. I'm a student of the arts. So that's what it's all about. That's what that means. That's a great question. And we are giving things to people that are important things. That's just what my teachers gave to me. They gave me things. Their time and their effort and their I would probably say their commitment and love about music, the best that they could, to apply it to something that I could interpret. And that's the same method that I have, giving things. And it's been a pleasure to talk with all these wonderful friends of mine. We have to do this on a regular basis. I swear, we got to keep doing this. Don't you think, you guys? We got to do this pretty regularly. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. So speaking of giving, we should talk about the giveaway. And do we know who the winner is? Or do we have to, do we really know who I've got to tell you, the winner is, do I announce the name or just the everything? I can see it now. I know it's Jordan Berg. And there it is. Woo! That's awesome. Hello, Jordan. We'll get together and talk. And what am I giving him? A car or a lawnmower or a free lesson? Oh, because you can interpret that however you want. Jordan, congratulations, brother. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy the session we spent together. I think we shall. And how are we doing, kiddos? Are these people about ready to go nighty-night? Are they tired? Yeah, how are we doing? Yeah, we're doing good. Do you have any more questions that I can read here? Give me some more questions a little bit before while I'm here. And new made in Japan. No, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I have nothing in my column. Okay. I love this question. Did I ever play with Halen Holdsworth? I never did. He did invite me, Chris. You were asking me this, Chris Pulowski. Did I ever play with Holdsworth? I didn't play with Holdsworth, but I did go to an AM show, and he had 2 syntax set up, and I was sitting in the front row, and he was like, "Tony, I have 2 syntax. Here. You want to come up and jam with me?" And I said politely, "No." I wasn't ready for that, but I did love going to his concerts, and it was great. We worked with such wonderful players. And I remember the very first time I met him was like in the 90s in France, and it was a Passion Guitar Festival. And I asked him so many questions. He goes, "My God, you should be a journalist," because I knew just about every record he played on, from like Soft Machine to, all those bands before any of the things that, we know that, that he actually did. So, yeah, it's a great question. Holdsworth was really, truly amazing. Yep. Now, what else do we have here? That's pretty.
Pizza topping.
Pepperonis and extra mozzarella. Mozzarella. Yeah, I love mozzarella. Oh, look at this. Is a nice way. This is cool. How are you doing? Any new albums coming out soon? So I told you we're working on the Cab record. We're working on the Students records. And we're working on another instrumental record for me, and I will let you know what the title of that shortly. I just haven't decided on what that should be. Any questions you see there with your wonderful eyesight? How old are your eyes? Okay, yeah, I will. Hey, hang on there, whippersnapper. Any funny stories from the 80s Shrapnel record days and being part of pushing shred guitar to the mainstream? One of the greatest things that was really a learning experience for me was working with Steve Smith and him, reprimanding me for me jumping ahead of the click. He really got me in line with that. You're going from playing in a band that you're not in a recording environment. When you're in a recording environment, everybody's trying to, get the right takes down. And, he was like, made me very aware of all the different parts of the click track and where I should be with that. And that was a great learning experience working with Steve Smith and Billy Sheehan on the very first record we ever did together. And then I had the pleasure of, it was ironic because I remember telling you that too, Mark. Remember about the Steve Smith? I had Journey posters hanging up in the room, and Steve Smith was the drummer. I'm talking about back when I was a, young kid. And then I ended up him being the very first drummer on a band that I recorded, and that was truly amazing. And then of course working with Billy in all the different outfits, from Devil's Slingshot to the Edge of Insanity record, and working together with him with Steve Smith. I mean, not with Steve I. That was absolutely totally amazing. Yeah, it's like, wow, these things can't be by chance, huh? What do you think? What do you guys think about that? Do I have any plans to release chamber music or a range of older songs and other classical instruments? We are going to be, we weren't supposed to talk about some things, right? You said, no, we're not talking about any classical music. It's a big boss here, but yeah, we will let everything breathe on its own, right? There'll be stuff coming out, and we'll talk about it in the future, and you guys will know what it means. And I do have some plans to do that, but I'm not supposed to have said that, but I did. Mars, MacAlpine, Aldridge, Rock, and Sarzo. I hope there's another one of those records. Rudy Sarzo, such a wonderful guy. We went down to LA, yeah, and we're on his, his podcast was absolutely amazing. Love Rudy, just beautiful cat. And Tommy, I haven't seen in a while, but he's just another amazing person. And what a contributor and what a history. His contributions to rock and roll, and of course Rob Rock. Just we're really from the same area, in the East Coast, and I miss that guy. Just unique and amazing musician. Yeah. How about a Franz Liszt album? How about it? Yeah. What should we do? What would we do? We could do something. We could do that. Any plans about playing in Rio or Brazil? Not offhand. But you'll be the first to know when I make a decision towards that. I'd love to do an American tour. Right, Mark? I'm always talking about doing an American tour and promoting, the latest record here. And then by then, of course, the newer record will be done. So that's how I look at it. I look at it that way. It's been wonderful hanging out with everybody. How we doing? We're heading out. The pizza's arrived. I didn't hear the doorbell. Oh, there it is. That's a weird doorbell, huh? You guys, we love you so much. I love you. Thank you very much for joining in and saying hello and meeting everybody that came out to talk tonight. It was so great for you to be able to talk with everybody and experience it and listen to the conversations. We're going to see you next time. And cheers. Take care of yourself. And I got to get back to Greece. This was just a wonderful school, wonderful place. Ciao. We love you all.